2 or 0705-909-760 or visit our website at www.ayit.org. Events more memorable, contact
Honorable
Ayit TV.
Chijaji Alimpa to come and take up the seat here. I'll invite Dickens, please come and pass this on to Teacher Winnie. She's giving us the opening prayer. Thank you so much. Let's have a word of prayer.
Lord, we thank you very much for this time. We thank you for all the blessings. We thank you for the love. As we gather for this meeting, please, God, help us and guide us. I pray all this in your name.
Amen. Thank you so much. Once again, I welcome you to this breakfast meeting, ladies and gentlemen. And with us present, we have different stakeholders we are expecting. But allow me also welcome and recognize the Pharm-Biotechnology team lead with the headship of Dr. Kasim Umbatolo. Thank you for being with us today. I welcome and recognize the presence of Professor Tamkong Robert. Yes, Professor Tamkong Robert, our guest of honor, and our friends of Pharm-Biotechnology. He is a multinational, born in Cameroon, raised in the US, works in Uganda, and rests in Rwanda when he needs a break. So I think his passport is a little bit full now. We welcome and recognize Engineer Anki Vasait, the Ugandan in the making. Yes, we welcome and recognize the researchers of Pharm-Biotechnology, and in no specific order, allow me to welcome Dr. Hilda. Please stand up for recognition. Eichirize. I welcome and recognize Jimmy Angupale, the one managing the Pharm-Biotechnology laboratories. I welcome and recognize Joseph Ororo, PhD candidate in the making. Yes, I also welcome and recognize the chaplain of St. Luke's Chapel of Mbarara University of Science and Technology. Thank you for being with us, Reverend. The business community here present, please stand up for recognition. Business community, business. Yes. Teacher Winnie is representing the business community. I will also welcome and recognize other people here present as we carry on. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to brief you about Pharm-Biotechnology. Pharm-Biotechnology and Traditional Medicine Center at Mbarara University of Science and Technology was sponsored by the World Bank. This is a project that deals with standardization of herbal medicine to meet international standards. We go to the communities as the university, engage them, and then bring them on board to see how best we can improve this. We cannot work without the community, and the community can't work without us, especially on environmental protection. As Pharm-Biotechnology sponsors are coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen, we got donors and friends of Pharm-Biotechnology, and as the team lead traveled all the world, around the world, to look for support, they did receive support from friends of Pharm-Biotechnology. Today with us here, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome none other than Professor Bob Hopkins, who is choosing another approach of philanthropy and social entrepreneurship, a new version of how to handle this project. Professor, welcome to Mbarara University of Science and Technology. His intentions are not different from Jaja David. Jaja David is also here to support us, like you'll hear in their speeches and remarks. They are here to see that we partner and support this project move forward as a way of supporting the community too. We also have the university administration under the Faculty of Science, the people at the forefront to see that this takes place. We also have the political and presidential advisor to see that our project is mentioned to the right people for support, not to be against anything or anyone. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome none other than Professor Robert Tamkong to introduce the event and also help us give us insights of what we may have missed out. Thereafter, I'll ask him to welcome Dr. Kasim Umba, who will also give us insights about the project. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, as Professor Robert is coming, I have to adjust the microphone, and yeah, there you go.
Angela. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, everyone present here and protocol observed. I'm Robert Tamukong, like the MC introduced me. Those are my names, and I work for Pharm-Biotrac, the Center of Excellence, which is attached to Mbarara University of Science and Technology. And I'm attached to the Department of Pharmacy, where I do coordinate all postgraduate training programs. My background, a little bit, I'm a clinical pharmacologist by training from the University of Minnesota, where I have taught and worked for about 23 years before I came to Uganda in 2017 to Mbarara University of Science and Technology. So it's my single honor and privilege to stand here before you to talk about the event, but more specifically about Pharm-Biotrac and why we are here today. So Professor Umbatolo, Dr. Kasim Umbatolo will talk more about Pharm-Biotrac, but I want just to give a preamble to why we are here today. So sometime in September 2023, we were on a fact-finding mission in the USA. Myself, the center leader, Dr. Tolo, Engineer Anka, and then Professor Celestino Obua. And we happened to be in Dallas, Texas, where we ran into Professor Bob Hopkins and Dr. David Dunwood. We talked to them about Pharm-Biotrac, Mbarara University of Science and Technology, what we were all about, our philosophy and our mission. And that really struck a note, and that resonated, and they decided to come to Uganda, in addition to the different missions that they have here in Uganda. So Pharm-Biotrac, like we know, is a World Bank funded project through the government of Uganda. The World Bank somehow realized that Africa is rich in natural resources, but we have this syndrome of dependence in the West. So they said, why can't African countries create some kind of centers of excellence in different domains? So they encourage universities across Africa to distinguish themselves in a specific domain and apply for a grant with the World Bank. So a team from Mbarara University of Science and Technology in 2016 came together and wrote a proposal on biotechnology and traditional medicine in order to add value and build capacity. In this domain, Mbarara University competed with many universities across the continent, and thankfully emerged the winner. So we were awarded that grant of $6 million by the World Bank through the government of Uganda to build capacity in traditional medicine and biotechnology, and therefore we became a center of excellence among the 24 centers of excellence that exist in Africa. But Mbarara University specifically is in charge or specialized in biotechnology and traditional medicine. There are many other centers across Africa, but Uganda hosts 4 centers. Of course, Pharm-Biotrac, there is one for agriculture and value addition, which is Marchi at Makerere. There is one that is called the Center of Excellence in Nanotechnology, housed in Makerere. And there is another one in a university in PG, which is called Akalise. So this grant was given over 5 years, and there were many deliverables that Pharm-Biotrac had to hit, and Dr. Tolo would talk about the deliverables. But then, after 5 years, what next? We know that many programs come and go when funding dwindles. But we had promised the World Bank and the government of Uganda that Pharm-Biotrac would not be a victim of coming and going when funding dwindles. We shall ensure sustainability of this project. From that background, we sat together as a team and brainstormed and thought we'd do something about sustainability. So we created something called the Friends of Pharm-Biotrac Foundation, because we know the work that Pharm-Biotrac has done has gone beyond the boundaries of Uganda and globally. So we have friends across the globe that are willing to support the sustainability of Friends of Pharm-Biotrac. So what did we do? Number one, we decided to incorporate the Friends of Pharm-Biotrac Foundation in the USA in the state of Minnesota as a 501c3 tax-exempt organization. For those who don't know what a tax-exempt organization is, it means it's an organization that is charitable and recognized by the federal government of the USA, and any donation that is given to that foundation is tax deductible. It means if you gave your money to the Friends of Pharm-Biotrac, then you would get some deductibility on your taxes. We did not only achieve that, we decided to incorporate it in Uganda as Friends of Pharm-Biotrac Foundation with the NGO Bureau in Kampala. So as we speak, we got our accreditation from the NGO Bureau as a non-for-profit in Uganda in October of 2023. So that's the first arm of sustainability, and we are hoping that this is a platform to begin to understand what the Friends of Pharm-Biotrac is all about, and we are planning with the board of directors of the foundation to have a big launch of the foundation here in Uganda sometime next year, and we'll keep you informed about the launch. The board members are a little bit busy at this time, but we are planning the launch, which is going to be a massive launch that would include civil society and academia across Uganda. The second arm of sustainability that we decided to put in place is the incubation. Pharm-Biotrac by itself incubated different startup businesses in nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, and cosmeceuticals, meaning our products that we have in our museum, some of them have hit the market already. And these startup businesses are beginning to selling, and they are going to be providing royalties for life to the Friends of Pharm-Biotrac Foundation that would save the sustainability arm of Pharm-Biotrac. We have already begun receiving some royalties from that angle, and we pray that the startup businesses are going to continue to flourish so that we can get some more revenue from there. The third arm of sustainability that we are talking about is what we call capital development. Pharm-Biotrac led a grant that was written to what we call the Bridging Foundation that decided to sponsor many projects in Uganda. So Pharm-Biotrac led this grant, and we won the grant that was awarded $40 million by the Bridging Foundation from Belgium. This grant is going to help us to develop infrastructure. And this infrastructure is going to be in Chihumuru campus when we get the money. And this would be able to generate income for the university and for the sustainability measures of the different projects, including the Friends of Pharm-Biotrac Foundation. The facilities would include, among others, ultra-modern laboratories and even residential facilities, because we have visiting professors and academia that visit MUST, but we always pay money outside to house them there. So this would definitely be a good thing for the university so that we can have our visiting professors and other people visiting MUST and accommodate them there. Our researchers sometimes take risks working in the laboratory and going home late at night. There would be residential facilities that would house them on campus so that they can continue to do the work that they are doing. We are also having, as a sustainability arm, we are developing a botanical garden, which is going to be a living gene bank here in Chihumuru campus that is going to house all the herbal plants that there exist in Uganda and across the globe. Right now, we are already in the process of developing that project, and an area has been gazetted for that, and that would also serve as a preservation area and as tourism for especially our high school and primary school students. That's what I can tell you about sustainability. So we are here today because we want to give you an idea of where we are going, and we want to thank Professor Bob Hopkins for accepting this invitation, and Dr. Donwood and team for coming to Mbarara University, and they are going to begin to introduce a new concept that probably is not very strange to us, but it's not very structured in our minds. The new concept that we are talking about here is philanthropy and social entrepreneurship. As Africans, I know we are existentially very attached to each other. When I was growing up as a child, as an African child, I knew very well that the next door neighbor was a brother. I actually grew up in a household with a cousin of mine that I later learned that was a cousin, not a brother. So we are providentially people that are attached together and have a good heart. So what Professor Bob is going to talk about today, it's not a new concept, but it's just to remind us that as Africans, we have a lot, and we need to share that together in order to make Africa a better place. I was telling the other people the other day that there is joy in giving. Even the Bible says that the more you give, the more you receive. So my favorite quote to end, I always say, if you want a year of prosperity, you grow your grains in the garden. If you want 10 years of prosperity, you grow your trees in your compound. But if you want 100 years of prosperity, then you have to grow people, and then you would have a legacy that would last forever. A legacy of humanity, a legacy of continuity. We don't even remember who the richest African person to have lived on earth is, because they come and go with their money. If I ask anyone here who the richest person in the world who has ever lived on planet Earth is, they would never remember. But just as a reminder, it's an African man called Mansa Musa from Mali. It's somebody who amassed wealth so much that he could not handle the wealth. But that is the richest person that has ever existed in planet Earth. But nobody knows about him because those are material things. They come and go. They come and go. So we need to share, we need to build a legacy, and we need to be a people that are connected together by not just wealth, but by brotherliness and fraternity. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to enjoy the breakfast meeting. And at this point, let me invite the center leader for Pharm-Biotrac, Professor Kasim Umbatolo, who is very soft-spoken, and he would give you some remarks here about Pharm-Biotrac and about the meeting as well. Thank you very much, and enjoy your morning.
Do you want me to adjust the microphone?
Yes, please.
Yes. Not everyone. So is the difference enough?
You have actions to make before I come in. You have some people to recognize there.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor Tamkong. As we are getting the presentation by Dr. Kasim, allow me to welcome the team that has come with Jaja David Downworth, and they are the Tag for Change. Here we do have Alex Booney. Please stand up for recognition. Yes, thank you for coming all the way. Yes, we also have Mr. Magezi Joseph from the Ankole Diocese representing the Bishop's House. Thank you for coming. And also we recognize and welcome the team that has come from PAVE. Did I say it right? PAVE. Yes, PAVE came with Professor Bobs. So all these people are protected. They had to come with people along. But we are safe here. So at this moment, allow me to also, I welcome and recognize the engineering department of the university, represented by Mr. Kato. Thank you for coming and being with us. Yes, behind every successful or failed event, we have a team behind. Welcome the Pharm-Biotrac team, administration. Please stand up for recognition. The Pharm-Biotrac administration team, thank you for coming with us. Yes, anything to buy in an organization has to go through procurement, and I appreciate and welcome the presence of the procurement officer, Mr. Vincent Kwatampora. Thank you for joining us. He's also the chairperson of the Senior Administrators Forum. Vincent, you're tall enough. We can see you. Please stand up for recognition. Please take a picture of him. He's camera shy. Yes. Thank you for coming. Dr. Kasim, the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, PRO. And after that long speech by Professor Tamkong, should I say Pharm-Biotrac, oh yeah? Yeah, thank you very much. At this point, I would like to take this opportunity to address the gathering. I'll start by saying, Honorable Chijaji, present with us here, the Vice Chancellor, represented by Professor Leju, the Deans and Directors present here. I can see Professor Bitario right here, and also other Deans and Directors of MUST present here, religious leaders present, and those represented. You've rightfully heard that form centers of excellence in their areas of expertise, in areas where they're very strong, so that they can lead these centers and run programs at these centers, so that the centers are not only for the countries or the universities hosting them, but they are centers for Africa. That's why Pharm-Biotrac is one of the higher education centers of excellence in Africa. So they put together about 24 centers, supposed to be 25 centers, but one of the centers happened to be in Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe is technically not qualified to receive World Bank support. And so it was excluded on that ground, at least from receiving the funding, but the center is there running. And so I want to talk about the center, which is at Mbarara University, called Pharm-Biotраc. So Pharm-Biotраc was tasked by the World Bank and the government of Uganda to work for Africa and address one of the key development challenges facing Africa, which is low life expectancy. You can attribute that to so many things. Poor health service, but also maybe things to do with nutrition, poor nutrition, maybe wars, maybe anything that can shorten your life expectancy. We said, okay, disease is one of them. This can be communicable and uncommunicable disease. We would like to make a contribution, which is to use what is available to Africans. And what is that? Our indigenous heritage, our indigenous knowledge. And we look through, we say, okay, all of us in this room, save for David and Bob, when we were growing up, we must have used various herbs to treat, to treat various ailments or diseases that we have ever fallen prey to. Our mothers were very knowledgeable, our fathers were very knowledgeable, and they are still knowledgeable. But this knowledge of knowing how to treat a disease in a family or in a community is not written down, is confined to word of mouth and is secretive. So we say, okay, how come China, India, Korea, they have very low biodiversity compared to Africa, especially Uganda? How come they are excelling in this field of traditional medicine? Chinese traditional medicine, Indian traditional medicine. Then reflecting, researching deeply, we realize that these countries have gone ahead and built the capacity, educated their young people who know exactly how to put science to this traditional medicine. And that is adding value to this sector. And so a small Chinese traditional medicine of this size will go for millions in Uganda, and people buy. So we want to do the same here. To do that, we need to educate young people from multidisciplinary background. Let's say they know biology, they know chemistry, they know biochemistry, they know pharmacy, they know pharmaceutical sciences, so that they work together and add value to these herbs we are using. And that proposal we put forward was accepted by the World Bank and the government of Uganda, and Pharm-Biotраc was born in 2017. And so we've been running Pharm-Biotраc as a team, and the team I'll let us show you. But what is very important is that maybe here I will just briefly highlight the key thing, the key objective here, or the main objective, is to build critical mass of individuals who are highly specialized. And this specialization should be leading to advancing traditional medicine and Pharm-Biotechnology. And what do we want to do? To bring about socio-economic transformation of Africa. And we have already evidence. We have things to show that really we are slowly beginning to lead it there. Because to have socio-economic transformation, you need to really add value, have things that come out as products that you can take to the market, sell. They should not just be making money, but they should also help solve problems. So, as you do that, you realize that you cannot do that alone if you remain in your classroom or in the laboratory. So, if you have a product like this, traditional medicine, and you are scientists, you are not collaborating with the private sector, how are you going to market it? In most cases, we don't know marketing. We don't even don't know how industries operate. So we want the Pharm-Biotrac activities of graduates to work directly with the private sector in advancing this knowledge. But there is another danger. If you are exploiting plants to make medicine out of it, which has been the case for most of the well sought after plants, you will exhaust them in the wild. They will not be there. So you had a Professor Tamkong talk about domestication. We say, okay, let us also have a modern living gene bank where we can show people these very important plants, but those that have been now threatened. To avoid extinction, let's put them here. So if you go behind Chumoro Hill, you find we have a big living gene bank there, what you call Herbal Garden. And this is at the moment being populated with plants which are very important, rare, but very important, used in our community. So we have zoned them to accommodate those plants that are coming from eastern Uganda, northern Uganda, western Uganda, central Uganda. So when you go there, you see these plants are being established thematically, and we want them to later also act as reference or educational centers for our children in a primary school, maybe right from nursery, primary school, secondary school. Those, your children now are not like you. When you were growing up, you had the opportunity to interact with the nature. They are now here in town. So they will not even know names of plants that your mothers and their grandmothers used for treating you. So we want them to know, right?
Members present here, can I say good morning to you all? Good morning. It is my single honor on behalf of the university. They have given me a big shoe to step in, but hopefully I will do my best. I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to welcome our guests, the Presidential Advisor, Honorable Judge Karimpa, who was, by the way, our former student. We are very happy that you are here. Our guests, Professor Hopkins and Dr. David, members of council present here. I think Robert is a member of University Council, members of top management present here, the religious leaders present here from the different sector areas or the different sectors, the business community present here, the team of Pharm-Biotrac, which has brought us here to this morning for the breakfast meeting. I would like to salute you all and not forget AIT TV, which is streaming live. I think we're live on TV. The International Relations Officer, you're most welcome. The research team for Pharm-Biotrac and all those who are working in the Pharm-Biotrac, you are most welcome. As a university, we are happy to be here this morning. The role of the university is very, very clear. The university is supposed to generate knowledge, conduct research, and engage the communities. And Pharm-Biotrac has done it all. Can we give a round of applause to the Pharm-Biotrac? You have made us proud for the last 5 years, particularly this. When Dr. Tolo used to knock at my door, I would say, please, the facilities are available. And we used to support them to drive in the struggle to win the grants. And today, we are very proud that 5 years down the road, the progress has been so good. We are happy that you have brought new innovations. People have been using traditional medicine, as Dr. Tolo has pointed it. That was the medicine which people have been involved in. And when you go to the rural communities, you find that there are people who have spent close to 90 years and they have never fallen sick. Or if they have ever fallen sick, they have been using traditional medicine and they have never had side effects. And there's always think about the traditional medicine. And I'm happy to note that Pharm-Biotrac has come to add the science there. That's what the role of the university should do. When you generate the knowledge, you take it back to the community in science communication. And one of the emphasis was how do you communicate the science to the communities? Can you show us the relevance of the university to support the communities? Area, you chew it or you crush it, add water there, and the concentrations vary. And sometimes it may not work well, sometimes it works well. So they also had their scientific way of doing things, adding value to their traditional knowledge to support the treatment of different elements. But we are very happy for that. As a university, we strongly support these areas. And I'm happy that Pharm-Biotrac is moving forward. 10 years ago, we had a project, or research project called MSI. This was the Millennium Science Initiative. It was also World Bank supported. I think we won 2 grants. One was the pharmaceutical science, which is now running. One was on climate change, in which I was the PI. And I'm happy to mention that Dr. Tolo is the beneficiary. His PhD was based on climate change on that one. And I'm very grateful, I'm very excited that he is leading the team for the Pharm-Biotrac. And we are very proud as a university that our products should always excel. I'm happy to see if I train someone and this person excels, I become the proudest person. And he's one of them. And Honorable Kijaji is also, he was our student. We used to go to the field together to collect data. We would take him around, we ran into elephant, a group of elephants, which was on that Katwe road. He had to reverse very fast. But today I'm very happy that he was able to complete his research, and now he's the presidential advisor. And we're happy that you have made it to come here. MUST is moving forward very hard to renew. We tried very hard to renew MSI, but for them they say no, we are moving to another area. And the Pharm-Biotrac is also trying the best, and you have tried all the ways, the innovative ways, which I have really liked. The issue of philanthropy, to come on board, Professor Tamkong. It was really a blessing to bring you on board, to come all the way to surrender the good life in the US. Then you came down back to Africa, and you lived with the communities, which is really a very, very good gesture. that we need many more of this kind. And we shall be grateful. We shall pray hard that we get more funding to support. This is a project which has turned into a program, and the program must go, or must progress. It must continue, and the university will do its level best to make sure that we support such projects. And I'm also happy to note that we have gotten more funding, which will be setting up a center. I know Engineer Anki is behind all this. In the design, she's a designer, she's an architecture and everything. She will make it possible. And we are very happy for that. And Anki has been with us for many years. She has gotten different names in all corners. When you go to Karamoja, she's called in Nyakairu. You come to Ankole, she's in Nyakato. When you go to Uganda, she's in Nakato. So, in all corners, we are very blessed to have you on board. And we shall work as a team. The university will support you in all endeavors. And I wouldn't like to give a lot of speech because we have a number of our guests who will also be talking to us. And as a university, I would like to emphasize that we shall work as a team. The business community present here, you are the people who support us. And the university is there to support the communities. We have been tasked, the Honorable Minister was here last time about science, technology, and innovation. She was putting us to task that where is the science, where is the technology, where is the innovation? Until MUST stood high that this is what we have done. And we are very grateful and thankful to Pharm-Biotechnology team for putting MUST on the map. And I think we have been ranked among the 2 universities in Uganda which are actually promoting science, technology, and innovation. And we encourage the team, the Pharm-Biotechnology team, plus the researchers who have been working together to continue. I see many of them are promoting their products, and we need to support as a university to ensure that these products move to the next level. Like what the minister said last time, that if you develop these products and you don't move or you don't take it to the business community, then you have not done much. You have not contributed to the socio-economic transformation, which the country is driving. The NDP 3, we are moving to NDP 4. So we really need to embrace science, technology, and innovation to move to that one, and we work as a team. The research team, which generates knowledge, and that knowledge must be shared with the communities. We need to support the communities. We need to encourage them. We need to go to them and support them in the communities. I know there are quite a number of programs which are running. We need to ensure that these programs must be community-oriented, which MUST was actually built. The president put the university in place to ensure that it supports the communities. It was meant originally for science, and medicine was one. Then they brought in science education because they need sciences. They need scientists to come up to support the economy, and we shall continue to promote that. And the Honorable Judge is here. I hope he's going to give us a very good message from His Excellency to see how we can support. I know the Excellency was the first person to give us money for traditional medicine. And I remember very well he pledged 500 million to start kick the program. But there was some bit of delay, and every time, that time when Professor Kayanja was the Vice Chancellor, in every meeting he would say, your money is waiting for you. So Professor Kayanja would come back and task the different units, please, the President's money is waiting for us. Why don't we do something? And I'm very happy that Anki was there, I think, that time. And the team now of Pharm-Biotechnology, I hope you have claimed that money. If not, you must go and get that money because it was already allocated to support the traditional medicine. With those very many remarks, I would like to welcome you once again and thank you for coming, and wish you a fruitful deliberations. Succeed, you must, for God and my country. Thank you very much. And it's my single honor to welcome Honorable Judge Charimpa to come and give his remarks. Honorable, you're most welcome.
Friends of resources, and as government, on behalf of government, I think we are happy that you are all doing that, and I am happy that from the background of the people that are around, apart from these experts and donors, we have educationists here, we have healthcare workers here, we have environmentalists here, we have people from arts and culture, we have people from the community and the business community, we have faith-based organizations. So that means the totality of the strata is fully represented, and this means that this is a way forward. I'm happy that the program is looking forward into better partnerships, because most of the programs wait until the last minute and then they begin networking. But you have started networking early in time, and I believe we shall, this team will support you and you'll go to another level. Definitely, the issue of biotechnology and traditional medicine is something that we must all embrace, because that's the way to go, and I am happy that Mbarara University is making this stride. You all recall that at one time the president was a bit disappointed with the MUST, and you know the reasons, even if I don't say. It started as a University of Science and Technology, but at one time it was slipping slowly to other things, and they were putting a lot of emphasis into the other aspects of education rather than the science and technology. I'm happy we are coming back on track, and I believe we shall live by our name and our motto of science and technology. I want to, on behalf of government and on behalf of our partners, World Bank and other partners, to embrace the partnership, and for government we shall do our best to support and make sure that this goes to another level. I had Professor Leju talking about the 500 million. Was it ever been given? I don't know. They should know, because definitely if that one didn't come, then it would just be a shame. 500 million for this program, and it has never been delivered. I'm not aware, but I will find out. But if it had never been delivered, that's very little money. I'm sure they have done many other things, but that one, if it was either a startup or something or a token, it should come, and it should not give the government a bad name. So please, Kasim, find out and let me know, so that if it is not yet given, we can fast track it and it comes. So I want to wish everybody great participation. As they told you, I'm a presidential advisor on environment and climate change, although I do other fields in the area. And when these people invited me, I think they did not make a mistake, but I had just come as a former student and to listen and find out what is happening. I'm happy about the progress, and together we can add an arm and take this arrangement to another level. I wish you very good deliberations. Our partners and partners of MUST, please keep the heat, and we are sure that government will do what it is supposed to do, so that you can successfully help in the implementation of this program. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish everybody successful participation and very serious participation. And all of us in our different walks of life, when we go back, let's keep the partnership and make sure that this program succeeded. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chijaji. Honorable Chijaji is one of those people hard to find, but I appreciate your time for being with us here this morning to welcome remarks from David Donworth, all the way from Florida. He is also going to give us insights about this project and how supportive they're going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him with a round of applause. David, it's time for you to address us. Yes. There you go. That's all right. There you go. That's good.
Thank you very much. Good morning, esteemed colleagues. I'd like to thank the opportunity to speak a few moments with you. I'd like to thank our stand-in for our Vice Chancellor today, who gave us some really tremendous remarks. Welcome Deans, Directors of MUST. We have religious leaders here, the Bishop of Ankole and chaplains, St. Luke and others. The Pharm, excuse me, I'm having a just, no, I just had water. I'm having a little pain, but I'm fine. Welcome the Pharm-Biotechnology team, led by Dr. Excuse me. Dr. Kasim Umbotolo, Director, Lead Contact Professor Robert Tamakong, Innovation Chair and Business Management Engineer, Ms. Anke Weisset, and the business community. Thank you all for attending this very important thing and giving me one moment of opportunity to speak to you. But also, before I forget, I'd like to just say thank you for being here with me today. Teacher Winnie, excuse me, I'm sorry. I've been asked to give you a few moments of content about what Tag for Change is all about. And my relationship with Tag for Change began a little bit more than. And I had met Pastor Alex Booney by way of being a simple donor to the organization that was created in the United States by way of Pastor Alex Booney, who found a woman's book that talked about bullying and talked about how talents, abilities, and gifts are given by God to everybody, and that mutual respect is extremely important. Alex found that book, searched high and low through the internet to find the woman that wrote this, and asked her permission to teach her lessons to his small village and local school. That sparked the foundation that was created to support Tag for Change. And very early on, Miss Marty Ward, who unfortunately has graduated, she's with our Lord and Savior now. She died 2 years ago. And she had made 3 trips here. She early on asked me, would you be a donor? Sponsor a child if you would. And I said, of course, I'd be happy to. She came back to me and said, can you support a water filtration program? And I said, yes, I'd be happy to. That then went on to another village and another pair of things. And I said, yes. I was busy earning a living. I'm a marketer, I'm communications, I'm an author, speaker when I'm healthier, and I go about the field of business. I'm a coach of both large and small businesses, and an author of 6 books. I'm working on 3 which will be published in January. So we're rolling out an entirely new program. I consider myself a minister, not a professor, I'd like to correct for the record, I am not a doctor. I need a doctor, but I'm not a doctor. I'm just a simple servant of God. In 2020, February, when COVID first came to America, nobody knew much about it. I got very, very sick in February of that year, and 2 hospitals refused to take me because they didn't understand what they would be exposed to. So they sent me home and said, care for yourself. I was in bed for 10 weeks not knowing if I was going to live or die. I had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to pray. I could not support my clients because I was too sick. Most of what I do is marketing coaching, and I write marketing content, not only for marketing agencies, but for their clients as well. And so I couldn't support them, and I didn't know what the rest of, if I was going to live, what I would do. And I was touched by what I call the real Gmail. God mail came to me and said, you've worked really hard working for yourself. It's time to work for me. And so, when I did get healthy, I got out of bed in the middle of May that year, and I began to work with ministries and foundations and NGOs and nonprofits. And I got more involved with Alex, Pastor Booney. And my focus here, by coming to Uganda, I should back up one sec. I had the glorious opportunity to meet Pharm-Biotrac, the Vice Chancellor, our esteemed group here at the Uganda North American Association annual conference in Dallas, Texas this past September. And it was a magical connection, which God has been doing a lot of that with me this past year. And so I have created a collaboration of services that we intend to bring to what I thought was going to be 7 little communities is now more than doubled in the first week of my entry here in the country. And I welcome it. I'm really excited about what we can do with electricity, fresh water, jobs creation, training, philanthropy, which Bob is on my collaborative team. He's a key advisor, and other services. But Africa has seen a lot of people that look like me. The white man comes, the white man helps, and the white man leaves. And more times than not, what they bring fails shortly after they depart. I don't want to make that mistake, as so many others have. I've dedicated the rest of my life to work with communities that need sustainability and capacity building. I'm bringing this as a purely philanthropical opportunity. We're going to work on each community, as I have already told 14 different communities now, that there are communities made of a lot of different families. But I believe, and the Bible states, that we are all God's children. And if we're all God's children, then we are one family. And one community is one large family. And what do families do when one of the family members is sick or needs help? The family pitches in and fixes it. However, in most economic situations, a scarcity mentality exists, and that's human nature. Very little we have, so very little we must protect. And I tell a story, which you don't have time for, but it's about how everybody's little contribution can create a massive difference for everybody. And that's what I teach. That's entrepreneurial involvement in community development. And so I encourage each community to identify what they are good at, what is most important to them to change their lives, and we will bring those things. But it takes a community to make it work and sustain itself, because I'm staying for 7 years. I won't leave until each community takes complete ownership of whatever we help with. If we build a new school, it's not my school. It's not the government school. It's the community school, and every member in the community is a part owner of it. So they have to take care of it because it's theirs. That's the philosophy and approach that Tag for Change will bring to Uganda. And it starts with our little village in central Uganda, and we'll expand from there. We're here as guests and colleagues of Pharm-Biotrac at the university, and we're so happy to be able to help them identify people in our rural communities to learn, to help, to become the healers in their area so that we can extend lives. The subtitle, if you will, of Tag for Change, and you can find us at tagforchange.org, is we're saving lives, one child at a time. That's our focus and that's our mission. And I'd love to give you more, but I'm more than anxious to hear from my great friend and colleague, Professor Bob Hopkins, who will speak on the subject of philanthropy, which I'm sure you understand. He's got a different viewpoint of what philanthropy is all about. And so I'd like to welcome to the stage my friend, Professor Bob Hopkins.
To the stage. Speaking of stage, does this work? Does this work? Hello, I'm on the stage. Well, I know I am in the Las Vegas Hotel, but I feel like I'm in Hollywood. I have never seen so many cameras, more cameras than people. I am here because of Gaston Bashabora. Mr. Gaston Bashabora, please stand up. His daughter, okay, by the way, Anka, take a picture and sit down. His daughter was in my class, and I go around the room and say, where are you from? And she says, I'm from Uganda. And David had already told me about Uganda, and I thought, Uganda? Uganda? I'd never heard of Uganda, and now I've heard it twice in 2 weeks. Can't believe it. So I invited Mr. Bashabora to my house for dinner with his family. They came. Then they told me about a big conference in Dallas where all the Ugandans were going to be, and 1,400 people came. And David and I got to meet all of the people from MUST. And what a blessing that has been for us. These 3 days that I have been here have changed my life already, and I'm only here for 2 more weeks. Let me introduce you to my vice president. This is Ambrose Nidiumba, one of my board members. This is Michelle right here. Melanie right here. Aguta. Stand up, Melanie, for applause. And then where's Arthur? Did he leave us? Arthur, right here. And see his PAVE shirt and see his... And by the way, Melanie, could you bring me a shirt and a hat for Dr. Cass, please? And I hate to take off my clothes, but since I'm in Hollywood, I wanted to show you my shirt as well. And I would show you the back, but that'd be too much trouble. And I'm so glad that you did this exercise of getting up and sitting down, because do you know, you people of technology and science, that when you sit too long, your brain goes to your butt? So thank you for revitalizing the brain again. Exactly. Okay. When we in the United States are children, one of the things that we do is we have a lemonade stand in our front yard. And usually it's for us to go buy candy. At least that was for me. But in my book, Philanthropy Misunderstood, which is right here, there's an article about a little boy. When he was born, his two fingers were stuck together, and he had to have special surgery at the Children's Hospital to separate those two. Now, you know, philanthropy is not a born behavior. You learn it. And so I'm sure that his mother told him, why don't you have a lemonade stand and why don't you raise money for Children's Hospital? That's a charity. That's a nonprofit organization, and he did. And then he got all of his friends to help him with lemonade stands, and it all went to Children's Hospital because of that one simple little experience. And the little boy raised so much money that he was able to fund an artificial hand for a child. And that was over 3 years, but he was only 9 years old, and then 8 years old and 7 years old. So it was not very long before he learned the behavior of giving by doing something that didn't cost any money. In fact, it was a cause, and he got so many pats on the back for it that he decided he loved it because it brought him joy, which is what philanthropy is. It's bringing joy to people. The reason I'm here, just like David said, is because we are full of joy. We do this not because we don't have anything to do. We don't do this because we don't love the United States. We do this because it brings us joy. And that's what we're doing here with PAVE. We have now formed an organization, and the vice president is Mr. Bashabora, and I are the co-founders, and Ambrose is our executive director here, which is a sustainable, long-term experience here in Uganda. So when I leave, David, and same with you, I'm leaving a team that will continue what we're doing and hopefully will continue with MUST over a long period of time. This is not going to be my first rodeo here. I'm planning to come back, God willing, and back, God willing, and back, God willing. But there's always Zoom, and we're also creating an exchange program between my university and MUST, between our student body. And we're working on that experience right now. But back to lemonade. Children learn philanthropy only if they're taught it. You are not born a giver. You're born a taker. At least that's my opinion. I don't know what you religious people think, but I don't believe, and I've not ever heard that anybody was born with a giving gene. Now, I have heard that you can be born with a nice gene. How many of you were born with a nice gene? How many of you learned to be nice? I think I learned it from my mama. In fact, I know I did. I learned almost everything from my mother, and it started when I was a child. And I didn't know that giving back was anything but fun, because every time I gave back, I got, Bobby, you did good today. And I felt a hand on my shoulder from, I don't know who, that said, you did good today, Bobby. So I always wanted to do good. Well, I didn't know that that was philanthropy, what I was doing, but along the line, and I won't take a long time telling you the history of the development of philanthropy in the United States, but I do know that along the line, we have come up with this word social entrepreneurship. And through philanthropy, we developed social entrepreneurship, and right now at the University of Texas, where I have been a professor for 12 years, they have developed a degree in philanthropy, which is an amazing thing, because when I came there 12 years ago, they really didn't ever have heard of that word or that concept. In fact, my boss called me and said, Bob, what is this philanthropy that you're teaching in your classes? And I said, it's love. And he said, love? Are you kidding me? Oh, okay, we'll continue teaching love. So when I talk about science and technology and I wonder about where does love fit in, it fits in everywhere. You know that we're going through climate change? How are we going to correct that? Science, technology, love, willpower, and each of us doing something about it. even if it's picking up trash in your backyard or trash on the streets or cleaning up something that you see is wrong with society. You can fix it. And we all can take a time and take a turn at fixing it. Now, PAVE is not new. I've been doing it since 1997, when I realized that you adults have never been trained to lead NGOs. You've never been trained to lead nonprofit organizations. You don't know that they're just like businesses, except the money doesn't go in your pocket. It goes in your pocket, but also it goes to society. And so what we're trading with social entrepreneurship is when you have a business and you make a lot of money, you give 20% of it back to the community, just automatically. And the fun part about it is you get to choose where the money goes. And in your cases, you might want to give some money back to MUST. You might want to give money back to our PAVE program. And I have been over at the university the last couple of days talking with the students. We have 15 students who are now PAVE members, all with shirts, all with caps, who are going to be in the next couple of days planting trees over here at the university. But that's not all they're going to do. They're going to show up and we're going to paint a school. And starting on Monday, all of you who want a t-shirt, show up, and we'll tell you where. And 8 o'clock on Monday morning, we're going to be painting a school. Just a classroom, and you know why? Because the classroom is so pitiful and so ugly that we have people right now over there volunteering their time, even plastering all the holes that are in the walls before we can even paint it. But I walk in and I see all these beautiful girls on one side and boys on the other side and standing up at attention around filth. It's filthy. And you know what? There's paper and there's cans all in the yard. Why is all that? Because nobody's teaching them any differently. They walk by trash. So what I did was I started picking up trash, and kids would come over and want to know what I was doing. I would hand them the trash, and they would go pick it up and put it in the can. It was so simple. What a great idea. But you know what? On Monday, the kids are going to paint with us. I have little 5- and 6-year-old girls and boys who have never done anything like this, want to participate, and then they say, but don't get it on your dress. We said, so what? We're going to wash it. It's latex paint. It's water paint. It's just like everything. It'll come out. You do it. You know what happens at the end of the day? The kids get a certificate. They get a hat. They get a t-shirt. They get a pat on the back. And they know that they have been given love. And they feel joy. So finally, us adults decided, you know what? I think we need to make this part of the curriculum of universities, and they have called it now, not necessarily philanthropy, but social entrepreneurship, which means get a business, make a lot of money, feed your family, get 2 cars, take a vacation, but give money, 20% of what you make, or maybe 10. I think the Bible says 10. Yes. Do you do that? I have to plan it. Sometimes I give just because I see something to give to, and I don't necessarily know if that's part of my total 10%, or maybe it's 20%. Sometimes I feel like it's everything I've got. But you know what? The more I give, the more I get. And I was telling somebody the other day, I also heard that if I carried a $2 bill in my wallet, it would bring more money and fill it up all the time. And my wallet is always full of money because I carry a $2 bill. I gave one to Ambrose. Oh, I had 2 in my pocket. In my billfold. It's not a common bill that we have in the United States. But it's one that, for some reason, attracts things for me. Anyway, so it's just, he's trying it. He thinks it's kind of a joke. But we'll see if the wallet fills up with money because he's carrying that $2 bill. I don't know. But what we challenge you to do at MUST is to get in contact with us. And you will see in each of your places a little piece of paper that you're going to fill out. I want everybody to fill this out. This means nothing to you to be dedicated to giving money yet. But if you want me to call you, put in the bottom here, I want Bob to call me. Put your telephone number, and before I leave, next 2 weeks, I'll call you, and we'll have a conversation about giving to MUST in some way or another. It could be $5 a month. It could be $1,000. I'm actually going to be playing tennis, I suppose, this coming Wednesday. We don't have a bet yet, but I'm pretty good. And if I beat you, you get the money to MUST. You got it? If I lose, forget it. Anyway, I want to thank you all for being here today. This has been a long morning for you. Again, I feel like I'm in Hollywood. Now, if I go downstairs, I'm sure you're going to want my handprint in the sand, like they have on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. But if there's any questions or any thoughts, Anka is going to demonstrate to you, or at least advise you and ask you if you have any questions for me. And if you do, let's have at it. And thanks again for you all being here. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor.
Anki, before you moderate, allow me to take a place. You're next.
No.
Yep.
Excuse me, wait. Where is
Kasim?
Dr. Kassim?
Yes. And if
Dr. Kassim,
they're baptizing you,
take off your coat.
you take off the shirt. Dorcas.
This is Las Vegas.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Mhm. What's in Vegas?
Camera people can come closer now.
There you go.
Oh, first of all, we got
Yes. Okay, please face the audience. Thank you. Congratulations upon joining the PAVE. Yes, PAVE, please, thank you for joining us today this morning. We appreciate your presence. After the presentation of our keynote speaker, ladies and gentlemen, there's two important people that we need to welcome on board. Professor Hopkins, without the legal advisor of the university, we can't sign a memorandum of understanding. Without the international relations officer, we cannot speak to you. At this moment, allow me to welcome them here in front for recognition. Sheila, please just come forward. I'm sorry I've ambushed you. Yes, please take a handshake with the professor. COVID is done. That's our international relations officer. Yes, a hug won't kill. Yes. Yes. So Sheila, make connections and don't forget me when you reach the kingdom. Yes. Thank you so much, Sheila. Yesterday she had the international relations dinner and she had all the international students. Legal advisor, please come and do the same. Now that is a lawyer, you need to be careful. I still need my job. Yes, he's a weekend mood, but he's always that way. Timothy is the legal advisor of the university. Photo moment. Now don't swag, you stand like, yes, thank you. Yes, so there the deal is signed and sealed. No more nonsense. We are covered. The legal advisor is here, the international relations is here, the vice chancellor is here, the preachers are here. What more do we need? By the powers entrusted to me, I won't declare this. But again, from your presentation, Professor Hopkins, you've talked about giving back to the community and appreciating, and we learn this from our communities. Allow me appreciate at this moment. She may not know that we get to hear what happens in her community. Teacher Winnie, please stand up for recognition. You did the prayer, but allow me for this. And as I'm speaking about you, please stay standing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the headmistress of one of the prominent primary schools in Mbarara. But, director, you need to invite me there. We've not spoken in a while. So why I'm making her stand up, our guest of honor and anyone else, when a parent dies, she takes on the student, the pupil in her school, and pays for her till they leave her school. And it's not every day that we see that. We appreciate that. If it is a strategy, it is a good strategy, but I know it's from your heart, and you really give back to the community in that way. Thank you so much. Yes. Also, different faculties have give back community engagements. St. Luke's Chapel, Corpus Christi, they visit the needy, especially at the time of Christmas and Easter. So, Reverend, we appreciate your giving back to the community always, and we want more like Oliver Twist. That offertory you share with us, we appreciate. Let's go to the prisons, let's go to the everywhere and preach the word of God, but also speak to the people. We appreciate the giving back to the community that you do. And then also as a university, we always give back, but these people here present have taught us that go beyond the title and the community and be an individual and give back to appreciate. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Nyakato, engineer. Are you ready? Yes. The only German, assembled in German but stays in Uganda. Anki, are you ready? Yes, ready. Yes. Engineer Anki is going to give us, you need a microphone or the projector? Okay, I invite our high table. Yeah, they have shifted already to get ready. But as they're organizing that, allow me to welcome also Dr. Kule, the focal person of the Business and Incubation Center. So business ideas are generated in the university. He's the focal person, and he is the person who is behind this BIC, it's called BIC, Business Incubation Center at the university, and it always brings results. We appreciate you mentoring our students when it comes to business ideas. Thank you, Dr. Kule. Anki, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the floor. I need infrastructure, not just the floor. Yes. Oh, you want me to use this one? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, honorables, all protocols observed. I'm not a very formal. So, we are here for a course. And the course is to develop the herbal medicine sector in Uganda. If you wonder why this Muzungu is here, I had the idea 20 years ago. In 2002, I worked in Rukarawe, Kusheni, and find out there is a problem. Huh? First you have to find a problem to design a solution. The problem, herbal medicine, one of the number of the books getting the shelves heavier and heavier. But what we need to do to support the young innovators and the herbalists who also produce prototyping. You know, not everyone can afford a factory. It costs at least $100,000, $500,000 to have a nice small-scale industry factory for one herbal product. And we need to conserve. We need to conserve the plants we are depending on. Conservation, honorable. We cannot take, when we harm nature, nature will pay back by being angry and having floods and droughts and the plants are disappearing. It's not a nice view. So what we want is a multi-million-dollar complex. For us, we are fundraising in a big level. It can be modular. Someone can pick up one machine, one lab, one building or several buildings. You have a choice. We have a lab complex, innovation incubation, where we hatch, but not chicken, but innovators. We have production facility. We're making capsules and tablets out of the medicine available. Botanical garden, we collect the medicinal plant from different regions. And we build a herbarium to conserve the plants we have collected. And have community outreach center and recreation space. So when next time you have a wedding, you can have it at our space. You have a walk through the garden where you have your photo session, and then you can have the party on a fireplace and pitch up your tents or stay in simple accommodation. If you have a bigger conference like this one, and bigger, come to us later when we have set up the facility with auditorium and expo space. And of course, we need administration where the big bosses sit and manage so that everything goes well. Botanical garden, I have explained, there are several sectors from each region of Uganda. And for the climate interested person, Honorable, we have one space, one plot given to nature. So one plot is simply managed by nature. It's left alone. So we can learn what nature does when we don't disturb it. So that's a botanical garden. This is an artistical impression of the garden. This is the complex of Pharm-Biottrac CITT. So we have the recreation, the conferencing facility, hosting students and hosting guests, the lab complex, and the production facility. So how can you support? We don't need 1 million per person. No. 1 million shilling maybe, but not dollars. But if you have, please. The support is like this. If you like to support one student, one master student is roughly $30,000 from the start to graduation with all ingredients. PhD, if you want to support one PhD, is $70,000 roughly to do a PhD with all the research, travel, and lecture and tuition, whatever. But an incubatee, that is, if you want to hatch a small company, it's roughly $10,000 to $20,000 to hatch a small company. So these are the bigger. But that doesn't mean you can support a quarter student, a 10% of a student. Don't worry. We'll be combining it and make one student at a time. So don't be afraid of the big bulk. We can make a one-time donation. One time, donate and forget. Regular assistance, it can be in funds, it can be in knowledge. Even being a lecturer, a visiting professor, that is support to the system. A visiting researcher is support. Royalties from companies. Endowment. Some people, when they depart the world, they like to do something with their assets. We are welcome. We are welcome to receive it and manage it when needed, in case you have no other sources for it. Any skill and knowledge and other ways you like to support us. Anyway, even taking a picture and just send it to us and say thank you. And I can post it on the website saying this conference, whatever. Taking photos, taking documentary is already coming to speak. You see, we are not paying you transport refund, sorry. This is not a paid conference. So thank you very much. You have come here with your own fuel and your own effort. And this is part of support. It's not always cash and dollars. So thank you very much for coming. And real. We are open now the floor for discussions and for your whatever you like to do with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anki. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this event. But before, allow me to welcome someone from PAVE. Just come forward, please. You don't want me to choose, do you? Aha. And then Bonnie, please come. In 1 minute, just tell us. You came with the professors, yes? But in 1 minute, just greet us and tell us what you do. That's how I do it.
Oh, thank you, Angela. I'm by names of Nyamba Ambrose. I'm happy to meet you again, Angela. I was at campus towards my final year. My dad died. You may not be remembering, but you assisted me to complete my course. So when I saw you, I almost cried of happiness. I wouldn't be here. By then you were down there. So philanthropy, like Bob says, is much more than giving money. She didn't give me money, but she assisted me. So I'm from PAVE, Philanthropy Institute. Let me first introduce my team. Mr. Bashobora Gaston. He is a humanitarian worker with United Nations, based in Congo. Is one of co-founders of PAVE Philanthropy Institute of Uganda. Madam Ogut, please stand up. She's in charge of our logistics. And I'm happy, so far so good. You can see we are very smart. Ronald and the team. Before Bob met Mbarara University team at the UNA convention, when I connected him online, after telling me his dreams, I managed to meet those guys from Mbarara University of Science and Technology, because we felt PAVE should go to all institutions of learning, and we started with MUST, MOOBS, and BSU Mbarara. We have PAVE groups there. So those people we kept together, and I was happy. They formed a team. Their team was able to represent MUST at different levels. There was a petrol competition for petroleum engineers. MUST was the best in Uganda, was the second best in Africa. They were to represent in the US, but unfortunately they couldn't make it, but they participated. Why? They learned from our ideology, like Bob is telling you, through social entrepreneurship. They managed to gain the confidences. They managed to gain the skills, communication skills, innovation, and problem solving. And I'm very sure it is that confidence that they were standing on to represent you. We have a series of activities on top of what is happening here. Our ideology, like we are telling you, it starts with campus. We train those university students. They go back and train other elementary children. So those people trained the elementary kids of Madrasat Primary School. They were teaching them about philanthropy. And those kids, after learning, they opted to change the face of one of their classroom block. So they wrote a proposal to us, and we are funding it. On Monday, the pupils of Madrasat will be working on their first project, and they will be painting by themselves. So we hope, Bob, what you're trying to achieve together with the team here, it is going to be very much important in promoting sustainable development in Uganda. With that, allow me to say thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Buni Alex from Kayunga, Busana Sub-County, Tenjeru North. Yes, so yeah, what we do in the community, we mostly encourage children to eliminate bullying, because through experience in my life, we've discovered that we have external bully and internal bully. But the worst thing is internal bully. Because when people bully you externally and you don't believe that bully, you will move with life. But once you believe that bully, then you yourself, you will put yourself down and nothing will progress in your life. So that is what we do in community. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You can take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, you have flyers on the tables in the green pamphlet, how do I call it, brochure? Yes. Do you want us to contact you? Our donation does not have to be money all the time, like the two presenters have spoken. Our support can be in a different way, like we can say we are supporting in a different way of maybe you want us to support, you want to support with labor, you want to support with different ways of helping the community. It doesn't have to be money all the time, but it can be anything else. So please give us your name, your address, and email, then we can contact you. It doesn't have to be money. Again, I welcome and recognize the presence of the Faculty Dean of Medicine, Dr. John Nance. You thought you were hiding. I can see you. Please stand up for recognition. Yes, weekend mood again. I appreciate your presence because it's a weekend and you've spared time. Allow me at this moment, we get a closing prayer from our chaplain, Reverend Justice Murokore, to pray for Johnny Masses. Ladies and gentlemen, on Monday we are going to have a public lecture. I'm told, sorry, Reverend, before the group, before Reverend, any questions, comments, reactions, take home, any messages from the audience, ladies and gentlemen? Sheila, you sure you don't want to say anything? Comments? Or they have said it all? At least you said the breakfast was nice. Yeah? Comments? Nothing? Oh, there you go.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so much happy to be here, and my name is Elijah Bahanda Mpumwide, and the visitors here have done us well, and at the moment, David has been visiting me for the last past days, and today, after this session, we are moving to another community, and I do lead an organization called Holistic Rehabilitation Center, just touching the lives of the young children through education and support. So to sum it up all, this kind of collaboration is something that is going to build us and help to develop our rural communities into becoming more sustainable and more exposed to opportunities. Thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
Thank you so much, Holistic. Yes, any other comment, reaction? Yes. You want me to bring you the microphone? Okay, I'll do that. They can't hear you, they can't.
Thank you so much, our PRO. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ahebwe Emmanuel, the Pharm-Biotechnology administrator. And I'm requesting you, in case you haven't had your breakfast, the breakfast is still continuing. This is just an announcement. Thank you. So please go back to the breakfast room and you can have yourself a breakfast. In case maybe you have, this can be a break tea also, you can also go back and have something. Thank you.
Thank you. Housekeeping? Yes. Okay, let's have the closing prayer. Oh, we're having a group photo at the gazebo over there. Let's do the closing prayer and go for the group photo.
Let's stand up and pray. Our God and Father, we are so grateful for your love. We thank you for feeding us with food and knowledge and challenge. How we pray, Heavenly Master, that you continue to empower us to see the way you see, to understand things the way you want us to understand them, that we may be your appropriate servants. Lord, we pray that as we live, we continue to think about the challenges that we have learned here, and that you help each one of us to think of what we can do about them. Continue to lead us, protect us, and provide for us. In the name of the Lord we pray. Amen. The blessing of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon each one of us. Keep us sober and sound, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you so much, Reverend. Let's go for the group photo just by the gazebo here.
You're watching Ayit TV, empowering you.
Elevate your event with Ayit TV. Are you looking for ways to make your events more memorable? Contact Ayit TV for professional event live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Our package also includes photography,